Ahoy, and welcome to Check It Out with EVPL.
A podcast from your local library. I'm your host, Alan.
And I'm Ryan, and we're joined by the always amazing, fabulous Miss Stephanie. How are you doing today, Stephanie?
I'm doing great.
Okay, so today is Talk Like a Pirate Day, I believe.
Aye.
Ha! She's doing the thing already. I said ahoy, so we're 2 for 2. I figured starting off would just be a good opportunity to talk about some history of pirates, just so we can kind of get all of our terms together while we dive into this beautiful, fantastic, amazing holiday. Did you have any information for me, Ellen?
Yeah, I have a little bit. But Stephanie, is there anything you know about pirates or want to know about pirates?
I don't know a lot about pirates.
Do you have a favorite pirate?
Cinematic pirate, yes, I do.
Johnny Depp.
Davy Jones.
Oh, Davy Jones, okay.
Oh.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay. Not going the typical route there.
No.
Is it the tentacles on his face?
It is, yes.
Yeah, I can see that. I know.
So, there have basically always been pirates as long as there have been people moving things by boat. But they really became more organized in the 16 and 1700s, and this was considered the golden age of piracy. And this is kind of when you would see things like Pirates of the Caribbean. That's kind of when this would be happening, with all the big dramatic fights and the really big boats with all the guns.
Yeah, because 1600s we're talking about post-colonization of the Americas. So there's a lot of stuff going across the Pacific or Atlantic.
Yes, and that's a big part of it, especially Spain's part of it. The reason Pirates of the Caribbean is such a big thing is because that's where, like, a lot of the piracy happened at this point in time, because Spain had colonized that area, and no one liked Spain. So anyone who didn't like Spain could become a pirate and go rob them.
And that was sometimes actually sanctioned by opposing powers.
Yes, so that is where you get into more of the specific things with this. So there's pirates, who is anyone who commits a robbery on the sea. There are then privateers, which are people who run a private armed ship, and they have a license or a commission from someone in power to attack enemy ships. So privateers would kind of be more attacking pirates. At least that's kind of the ideal situation. A lot of times privateers did just become pirates because it's more profitable. And then you also have buccaneers. Do you guys know anything about buccaneers?
It sounds cool.
Buccaneers specifically were privateers from the Spanish-American colonies. A lot of the places that weren't colonized by Spain were colonized by France. And a lot of the privateers who had like a French heritage would prepare this very specific kind of food on a grill called, I'm gonna mispronounce this, viande buccane. And that is how they would preserve their meat. So they would use it to make like jerky and dried meats and other things. So buccaneer comes from that word. And it is just a portmanteau of privateer and buccane.
I love portmanteaus, and I love words derived from food. So that's just wonderful all around.
Yes. Buccaneers also typically did not have any sort of license or commission, so they were more like just straight up mercenaries.
So this would be the time period that, like you said, like the Pirates of the Caribbean movies are set in, and also I'm assuming like all the famous names came from. Was that the same time period or a little later?
Yeah, a lot of those came from this time period, and that's also part of why it's considered the golden age, is this is when all the really well-known people were happening. I mean, it is still like over 100 years of history, so it is stretched out over quite a while.
And pirates did not live long lives, from what I read.
Not typically, no.
Your average career was usually less than a decade.
Maybe we shouldn't rob people in the sea then, Ryan.
Yeah.
Maybe we should not do that.
Well, I mean, we can
We can stick to robbing people on land. That's fine.
I was going to go the opposite route and say we can just like meet people on the seas and have a party, like party pirates.
I mean,
maybe.
Yeah,
No,
I just
you
still want to rob
people.
Yeah,
that fits.
So watch out for Stephanie.
I like to accost people. It's fun.
Well, so I mean, I have to ask because I recently watched it and it's amazing. So Blackbeard and Stede Bonnet. You guys know what I'm talking about at all with the Our Flag Means Death?
I know what you're talking about. I have not seen it.
Okay. I don't want to put any spoilers out. I love it. It's a great show. You should watch it. But it does involve some historical figures in a very fictional setting. But yeah, Blackbeard, obviously probably one of the most famous pirates, I would say. Most people have heard about him. Stephanie, did you...
Heard of him. Heard of the show. But I don't watch TV,
Okay.
so...
Did you dress up as Blackbeard at all as a kid?
No, we're dressing up this Halloween as pirates.
Oh.
This Halloween is Pirate Halloween.
Okay, what's your choice?
Layla's choice is... she's choosing the Johnny Depp character.
Okay.
And
Captain Jack Sparrow.
Yes, I haven't made an official choice yet. I really want to do...
You want to be a parrot, don't you?
No, ew.
Just...
Why?
So you could do Davy Jones if you can get the tentacles together, which I feel like is the most ambitious part of that. Or you could be like later Pirates movie Keira Knightley, fancy pirate lady.
Ah, she's a fancy pirate.
Yeah.
I'm pretty good at effects, so...
Leaning towards the
maybe
tentacles.
leaning towards the tentacles a little bit, and also it would be frightening for children. So,
Which is a positive?
always.
Oh, okay.
Yes.
Frightening children, positive.
I mean, Halloween is like the one time you're supposed to scare children.
That's true.
so-
It is state
So you
sanctioned.
hear Layla's
Spookiness.
her only goal out of the whole entire night is she doesn't really like candy on Halloween. She just wants to ask people for rum all night. So that is great to me.
What if she actually succeeds, though? What's
That is a win for me.
okay.
Yes.
And just a side note, Davy Jones is not a real pirate. He is fictional.
Yes.
So, sorry, people.
Do you have
It's
any
okay.
history on Davy Jones?
I actually don't. I was mainly just obsessed with the whole Blackbeard and Steed Bonnet and also the Calico Jack. All the characters from Our Flag Means Death because I fell in love with that show. But also, there was other piracy going on at the time. And historically, I mean, I think Vikings were doing it right before the big golden age. They were probably the farthest ranging ones.
Yeah.
Blackbeard's real name, Edward Teach.
Yep.
Excellent. And then you've also got Captain Kidd. So these are all really famous. There's like a book from the 1700s, I think. That's like the history of the time where the dude tried to get firsthand accounts of the piracy that's happening in that time period, and also some interviews, which is where a lot of the romantic ideas come from of their exploits.
Mm-hmm.
I do want to mention the most successful pirate in all of history, which I am going to butcher her name. It is Zhang Shi Sao, which was she was a pirate in the South China Seas about 60 to 70 years after the Golden Age. Actually, a little bit later, probably like 120 years after the Golden Age, because this is in about 1770 so. And we're talking the Golden Age ended probably around the 1720s. I can't do math. Wow. I just really put myself out there with that one. I was right the first time, about 60 to 80 years. But yeah, she had under her command at one point between 40 to 60,000 pirates and like 1,500 ships. And she made this whole confederation. And if you look at like Pirates of the Caribbean, where they have the pirate code and everything, that was her. Because she had such a large fleet, she needed to maintain order. So she created the codes of conduct essentially to keep everybody in line and have her little fleet and her basic. She was a queen essentially. And she actually retired. She didn't die because of piracy. She did it pretty successfully for a number of years and then retired and got pardoned by the powers that be at the time and kind of got to run her own little private fleet after that. So she's an amazing historical figure, and there's plenty of books out there. And I believe they're making a movie soon, but I don't have the details on it.
So she lasted longer than about 10 years out there. Just saying.
Yeah, I think, her career lasted about 15 years, I want to say, because her husband started the fleet. He died. She took over along with her family, kind of consolidated everything, made it known that she was the one in charge, and then went from there. So she lasted longer than average, definitely.
So there's hope. That's all I'm hearing.
Also, what I'm hearing is women are the best, and Stephanie, you and I should just cut Ryan out of this whole thing and go be pirates.
I can row the boat. Just put me down in the galleys.
Deal.
Why did I just volunteer?
Why would you? It's gonna be.
I want to be involved.
Of course, you want to be involved. It's pirates.
Mm-hmm.
I also have some more information about the pirate code as well. She may have been the one to kind of start that, but a lot of pirates kind of took it on for their own crew and kind of made it their own. So from that book that you mentioned, A General History of the Pirates, which was published in 1724, we have some codes that were received firsthand, so directly from people who were on board the ships, and some that were like written partial copies that were gotten secondhand. A lot of them basically include very common things. Democracy, everyone should get a vote in what happens on the ship. Some of them state that there's no gambling on board, which surprised me. So
that's interesting.
Yeah, not all of them have that specific rule, but a lot of them did, because captains didn't want their crew fighting over money.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
You gotta be united when you're doing piracy, all right? It's not just every man for himself.
I feel like I could do that. That's fair. As long as there's still punishments.
Oh, there are plenty of disgusting, horrible punishments from the life of a pirate.
Yeah.
One such punishment that's very popular, walking the plank. There were a number of things you could do that would lead to your death, and they don't explicitly talk about that form, but I mean, I'm sure throwing someone over the side of a boat is an easy way to ensure their death. If you desert the ship, then that is punishable with death. If you are caught fighting on board with your crewmates, you have to finish your fight on land with sword and pistol. So basically, if you get caught fighting in the middle of the sea, they're like, okay, wait, hold on to that. When we get to our next port, you're going to go fight it out on the beach. And, whatever happens, happens.
That's funny. I do know there's a punishment called a keel haul.
Yeah.
Where you can be dragged back and forth under the ship.
Yeah.
Oof.
Yeah, you don't survive that one.
Yeah.
No. You'd almost rather just walk the plank. Just do that. There's a lot of threats.
Yeah, being out on a boat in the middle of the ocean with no laws or rules besides what the people around you have agreed to and said. A lot of things can happen, but that's also kind of the allure, I feel like. Just the freedom. Speaking of which, I guess not because I'm thinking about it, but historically, how did one become a pirate? Do you have any information on that for me?
I'm absolutely thinking about it. I'd just like to say.
So like I did mention earlier, piracy has been around since the beginning of boats. So if you have a boat and you feel like attacking someone, you're a pirate.
Wait a minute. That's it?
Yeah, that is the whole definition. It is attacking someone at sea.
All I need is a boat, you guys.
I mean, are there river pirates?
Yes.
Oh, okay, Stephanie. I need to warn people about you.
Yeah, I don't have a boat yet.
Okay. Yet.
Yes.
You have to acquire one.
Yes.
I don't know how to work a boat, so I don't know if I can be a pirate.
And yet you volunteered yourself.
Yeah,
row.
I did. I know how to row. I don't know how to do the wheelie thing.
Steering?
Yeah,
Oh,
steering with a wheel on a boat. It probably works like a car, I assume, but
Just a little bigger.
I don't know the exact.
Yeah, once the boats did get bigger, and again, that's when you get into this golden age that we're talking about with the various cannons and larger crews, that's when kind of you get pirates through mutiny. So if a crew is unhappy with their captain, they may get rid of them and then be like, okay, we're not doing our assigned duty anymore, we're going to go do crime.
And Stephanie would be the captain in our case, and me and you would be the crew.
Yes.
Cool.
I think I would be the first mate, though.
You could do the cannons.
Bang, bang, pow.
I don't think I have any rules about the cannons apart from just keep them clean and tied down.
Cannons are heavy,
Make sure they
though.
work.
Yeah.
That's a good one.
Mm-hmm. Load them with silverware. I learned that from a movie.
But there are several different rules for how the captain, the first mate, and the rest of crew would split up treasure. So, Stephanie, you may want to hear about this.
May.
All the treasure goes to the guy that rows the boat. Pretty sure that's the rule that she's going to read.
No,
you
that's
talk
not
about
the
it.
rule. So the more fair rule is that the captain gets 2 full shares of whatever treasure is found, and the quartermaster or first mate or whatever their title is gets 1 share and a half. If you have a doctor, a gunner, a boatswain, they get 1 share and a quarter, and then everyone else gets 1 share. However, so this comes from Henry Morgan specifically, which if you have any information about Henry Morgan, that's going to be a fun one to talk about. Henry Morgan went by the rule that the captain or chief commander is allotted 5 or 6 portions to what the ordinary seamen have. And the first mate, or as he called it, the master's mate, gets 2 shares.
He was a greedy pirate.
He was.
Does he also have a rum named after him?
Yes, he does.
Ah.
There it is.
Yeah, so that is the famous Captain Morgan, exactly who you're thinking of. And he was very successful, like right in the middle of the Golden Age, basically.
Because of all the rum.
I think the rum came later.
Oh, okay. He wasn't shilling his rum. He wasn't like pulling up to people's boats and be like, I got some rum for you. That wasn't what he was doing. He was, okay.
That's a good one, though. I like that.
Mm-hmm.
So he was actually another pirate who retired instead of dying of piracy, which is fun. He became the lieutenant governor of Jamaica.
Well, that's pretty swanky.
Yeah,
Yeah.
wow.
Go from being a pirate to a lieutenant governor.
Yeah, he had,
It's all the money.
I'm sure the money helped. There was a pirate base in Port Royal, Jamaica, which you guys may have heard of Tortuga.
I think it means turtle or tortoise in Spanish.
Yes.
Yes.
But that's the kind of area we're talking about. Tortuga was this island over in the Caribbean, in the, Haiti, Jamaica, etc., that kind of area, was where a lot of those pirate strongholds were. So Port Royal was like part of the Tortuga area.
Very cool.
That is cool.
It's like you become a successful pirate, and then before they catch you, and you take all your money and you go buy like a lieutenant governorship or something like that. And you're legit. You're good. You're safe. Everything's fine. You did it right.
He also did have a bit more legitimacy because he was one of those privateers. So he had a license from someone in like the government or a merchant, and he would go out and protect their ships. But he did also do some crime.
I know with Blackbeard and Stede Bonnet, there was the King of England issued a order that said that if pirates gave up their ways and they were taxed, and then they also had to serve time, maybe, then everything was forgiven that they did.
Mhm.
And I know that Stede Bonnet took the offer, but then went back to a life of piracy and was eventually hung. I don't think Blackbeard ever actually took it. I think he convinced his buddy to be like, hey, go check out if that's legitimate. And then he double-crossed him.
Nice.
Oh, that sneaky Blackbeard. But yeah, it seemed like there was it was pretty common for offers to get out of piracy because, I mean, you don't want them pirating your goods anymore, so it seems like a good idea to just make them go legit and either work for you or promise to give it up.
Yeah, and since a lot of those pirates were well armed, I feel like facing them in combat probably wasn't the most favored way of doing it.
So the Golden Age in the Caribbean and the Atlantic, that ended around, 1720s or so, which was about the time that all of the navies were getting stronger. And they were escorting it, so they were really cracking down on piracy, which is, I think, depicted in some of the movies as well, the fictional ones. That whole hunting down pirates theme that the navies had.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like there's a lot of allure to it. How can there not be?
So, Stephanie, what drew you to pirates?
Well, the violence.
I thoroughly enjoy that you hold nothing back.
Just you have to be creative and come up with some crazy punishments. You're on a ship in the middle of the sea.
You got to make people do what you want.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And some things are so disgusting.
You're gonna rule by fear.
I mean, you don't have to be afraid.
You
But
can rule by kindness, right? There's kind pirates out there, maybe?
yes, I can be kind
Okay.
until I have a reason to not be, and then violence. There's no in between.
So that's Stephanie's allure to piracy. How about you, Ellen?
I definitely think the fighting plays a part in it. Like, it's very adventurous. I don't think it's so much just like, oh, yes, I want to be a pirate and be violent. But it is like, oh, you get the freedom, you get the adventure, you get kind of that craziness that, I don't know.
Just let it all out.
Yeah, you get to go be wild. But apparently there were all those rules. So maybe it wasn't
but it's like a chaos with rules.
organized chaos.
Yes.
Lawful chaos.
Apart from that, though, I do have to say the sea shanties.
Oh.
Oh.
We are in prime sea shanty season right now.
We are. And now they did get a revival kind of on TikTok. I think that's a bit older now, but they're still on the mind, I have to say, because they're quite good songs.
What's any particular good ones come to mind?
Well, the first one is always The Drunken Sailor.
Okay.
I remember we learned that, I think, for like a middle school choir concert.
A middle school choir concert.
Yeah, and we learned how to sing Drunken Sailor.
Okay. And I guess you had a pretty cool choir leader. Wellerman, I mean, that's the one I always hear.
Yeah, the Wellerman is what became really popular, I think, on TikTok.
Yeah.
Roll the Old Chariot Along is a good one. And a lot of these were sung as, like, working songs. I feel like most people know that, but maybe some people don't. So they're very rhythmic to kind of create a steady working beat to help you kind of get through the drudgery of your seafaring chores. But they're also just good tunes.
Singing to chores definitely does make them easier, I found.
Mm-hmm. It does also help build, like, camaraderie among your crew because everyone's singing them like together, and that's the only way you're going to get through stuff.
That's true. So I mean, back to if you have two people that are fighting, you have to wait till land to fight it out. I mean, what if you're friends by the time you get to land? Now you've sung all these shanties.
Still gotta fight. You have to. It's the law. It's in the
fight
code.
each other.
Yeah. I guess it's ship by ship. I mean, everybody, you gotta make your own rules. That's the captain is the law on the ship at sea.
See, and it can start out good. It doesn't have to go straight to violence. I'm just saying.
Ryan, what is your non-violent draw to pirates?
Oh, definitely the heist planning kind of stuff that's going on.
Okay, that's still crime, though.
Oh yeah, it's definitely it's piracy. It's going to be crime.
Yeah.
It's not violent though. Like this ship leaves this port at 8:00. We intercept them before they get to their rendezvous, and we pull all the treasure off.
And we don't fight anyone at all.
You don't think there's going to be any violence involved in that?
If we do it right. All right. Because they won't have any guards. I planned it all out. It's a perfect heist. That's what I want to be.
I would like to see the ship that does not have any guards in the golden age of piracy.
I picked it perfectly. Okay. This is a master plan. And then I pull an Ocean's 11 and there's a...
Which is very fitting because you're on the ocean.
Yeah.
There you go.
Thank you. I didn't think of that. Piracy, I mean, it still happens in modern day, too. We do have modern day pirates. They're not as romanticized, I would say.
Well, it was Captain Phillips, right, is the modern pirate that most people know of?
Mainly with Somalia and, like, the Singapore.
Yeah, Captain Phillips, the 2013 movie starring Tom Hanks, during the big uptick in the Somali pirates. Which I think that's still kind of a thing, but not quite as much. They really did crack down on it after a major Hollywood movie was produced about these issues.
That's depressing. It took a movie.
Doesn't it always, though? And they don't use swords anymore. That takes a lot away from it.
They might use swords. They might use some swords, but yeah.
No, not really.
No.
Not like they did. Takes it away from me a little bit.
Yeah, so Captain Phillips, in the movie, that was Tom Hanks. He was not the pirate. He was the one in charge of the ship that had been taken by pirates.
So you already discussed, Stephanie, how you're drawn to Davy Jones. He's a good fictional character, pretty much a pirate. Anything that you particularly enjoy about him?
I don't know. I just really wanted to do, it was mostly for like the Halloween thing for Layla, because she's super into the movies. Again, I'm not really. I just want to try to do the effects.
He does have some pretty
face.
sweet effects.
Yeah.
And then also the voice actor did a great job as well.
A little more menacing. I like it.
Mm-hmm.
So I do have an early description of Davy Jones, and this is pulled from a book called The Adventures of Peregrine Pickle. Published in 1751 by Tobias Smollett. In his book, he says, "The same Davy Jones, according to sailors, is the fiend that presides over all the evil spirits of the deep, and is often seen in various shapes, perching among the rigging on the eve of hurricanes, shipwrecks, and other disasters to which seafaring life is exposed." The author also describes him as having saucer-like eyes, 3 rows of teeth, horns, a tail, and blue smoke coming from his nostrils.
Awesome.
So it's a little different than the Hollywood version.
He's a
It's
pirate
a little
boogeyman.
better than the Hollywood version, I think.
So is that what you're going to go with for your costume?
Cool, maybe, yes. I don't know.
Horns and blue smoke.
Well, so whichever is easier to do, I guess.
I like the blue smoke because that
Sometimes
does
if
fit
I
in
do.
with Blackbeard as well.
Oh yeah, there is
Yeah.
like the historical event where he put like slow burn matches under his hat to make people think he like had a crown of flames.
Yeah, and he would tie long fuses into his beard so that his beard would
Yeah.
be smoking.
he was all about the theatrics, that one. How about you, Ellen? Who's your favorite fictional pirate?
Well, now that I've read about the traditional depiction of Davy Jones, it may be him. The only bad thing about him is that, like, you only see Davy Jones if you're gonna die. Because
Well-
that's the other part of the legend.
There's the allure.
I have so many questions.
Yeah, so in terms of Hollywood pirates, not really any of them draw my fancy particularly. The Chinese lady pirate queen, she's super cool.
Yeah.
But I read quite a bit about her at one point, and she's a really interesting character. But there's also another female pirate named Anne Bonny. Have you guys heard of her?
No, I have not.
I have not. Do go on.
Okay, so she was Irish. She was born in about 1698, give or take. And it turned out that she was the illegitimate daughter of an Irish lawyer, and kind of when that infidelity came to pass, the guy's wife left, and so he moved to America with his daughter. When she grew up, she married to a sailor. So she starts out, still very much on the sea, but like reputable.
Mm-hmm.
So she married John Bonny, and they traveled to the Bahamas, which once again, we see that area playing a big role in this.
Why are you looking at me like that?
Well, I got excited because I just looked this up and I just saw who her spouse was. So sorry, I'm spoiling it. Go ahead, Ellen.
Her husband became an informant for the governor, so he would kind of get information on the various pirates and other criminals in the area and report on them. And through this, she met a pirate named Calico Jack.
There it is. That's why you were looking at me
That's
like
the
that.
one.
In 1720, she abandoned her husband and assisted him in commandeering a ship called the William. And then they became pirates.
Mm-hmm. Jack and Anne
Yes.
tearing up the sea.
Yes.
It's beautiful.
That could be us, Ellen.
It could be.
And Ryan.
Thank you for including me. That's all I want.
We need a heist planner.
I'm gonna plan so many perfect heists. You guys will never even have to throw a punch. All right, you just gotta dress up and do crazy things like grow beards and put matches in them and fuses.
I look good with a beard.
So I personally am in love with the Long John Silver depiction in Treasure Planet, the animated movie. The one where he's like a cyborg. It's an outer space version of Treasure Island, which is a fantastic book. Everyone should read it. We have multiple copies at the library. It's classic. But it's just a great story about, a young boy who kind of gets thrown in with a motley crew and then learns the ropes and has some adventures. Long John Silver's a villain and a mentor at the same time. And it's just an interesting character. So plus he has a delicious fast food chain named after him. Where
That's
you can
true.
get fried dough
Fried
bits.
fish. So now that was based on the myth of Long John Silver. Was Long John Silver based on like a real person?
That sounds like some research that I probably should have done, but I did not. I could tippy type right now. I typed in Longer John Silver. That was his brother, his older brother, Longer John. Now I'm just getting a bunch of. Hey, I know where the closest Long John Silver is from here is, so that's important information. No, he's a fictional character entirely.
Who is still funding that restaurant? Why?
It is delicious, but I do also hate myself every time I eat there.
It's so greasy. It's the greasiest food.
Oh,
yes.
Imagined.
But it's so good, but it's so bad.
Well, okay. Name another like a fried fish place that you can quickly get fried fish at.
I don't know. There
Okay.
used to be a Captain D's. I don't know.
Yeah, and now there isn't.
Now there
we're
isn't.
Stuck with Long John Silver's. So either like it or you're
Just take a day after you eat it, I guess.
Robert Louis Stevenson, who wrote Treasure Island, he apparently had some letters that say the idea for the character of Long John Silver was inspired by his friend William Henley. He described Henley as a great, glowing, massive-shouldered fellow with a big red beard and a crutch. But he was not a pirate. Does anyone else have pirate jokes?
I have I know one off the top of my head.
I know one as well, and everyone has heard it, and it's horrible. So
That's what I feel like.
yeah, I'm going to go ahead and abstain. Let's go ahead to Ellen's joke section.
So I'm a big fan of horrible puns. So you guys mentioned that, like, you know some very bad pirate jokes. Don't worry, these are not good pirate jokes, except to me, they are the best.
I'm excited because you always have the best puns. I love them.
They're still puns, though.
I
Yeah.
love them.
It's a very niche line of comedy that I'm into. What can I say? So do you guys know why the pirate was wearing a paper towel hat?
I could take a guess.
What's your guess?
Well, I don't know. Maybe he was putting the smoke out.
It was Blackbeard.
Yeah.
And he needed like a wet paper towel. No, the pirate was wearing a paper towel hat because he had a bounty on his head.
Oh my God. Ellen.
They don't get much better than that.
We're going downhill from here.
You know, here at the library, we're all about learning. And if you guys have ever taught a pirate to read, you will know that it takes them just ages to learn the alphabet. Do you know why?
Why, Ellen?
Because they spend years at sea.
I knew it.
I was going to go with something with the letter R.
That's what I was going to say. Was it because
Yeah, it's a tricky one.
they
That
can't
one
get
gets
past
you.
the letter R? Is that why?
No, it is because they spend years at sea.
Letter. I get it. It's a letter.
So after you do teach a pirate how to read, do you know what kind of grades they get in school?
None.
None?
Pirates wouldn't go to school.
That's not
Yeah,
a very good
but
punchline.
occasionally, if you get a pirate who retires,
I don't know.
they get high seas.
Of course they do. It's where they're comfortable.
I'm upset at how much I'm enjoying these.
Delightful. See?
R.
Does it make you feel brave enough to share your terrible pirate joke, Ryan?
No.
Let's hear it.
No,
Okay, I'll do my terrible one
Okay.
then. This is one that Layla's obsessed with. Like, she used to tell everybody this stupid joke. Why couldn't the pirates play cards?
Why couldn't they play cards?
Because the captain was standing on the deck.
Oh! No, that's so good. I love it.
She loves that joke. That's her favorite joke to tell.
I also love that joke.
It's pretty good. I actually haven't heard that one before.
Oh,
Well done.
Me neither.
Do you want to now share your joke, Ryan? Do it.
I'm good.
Do it.
Don't worry, I have some more, and then you can.
Okay,
You still
okay.
have time.
All
Okay.
right. All right.
Do you guys know how much pirates pay to get their ears pierced?
No.
Stephanie, you say no, but you're looking like you do. In
I
fact, have a
do,
guess.
in fact, have a guess.
Stephanie, what's your guess?
But is it a bucket ear?
It is.
Ah!
Why couldn't the little pirate go to the movie?
Oh, I don't know.
So there are two answers to this one.
Because he's at sea?
No, it's a good guess though. I like it. There are not a lot of floating movie theaters.
There are not.
Ryan, do you know why the little pirate couldn't go to the movie?
Was it because the movie was rated R?
It was, and also it had too much booty.
Ah. But if he's a pirate, would he really not care?
He's
Well,
a
it's
little pirate.
A little pirate.
A little pirate.
But still a pirate. He'd want the booty.
That was the joke I knew. So
I'm just saying. That was the one you knew?
that was the one I knew.
Oh, that was the one you knew. Okay.
Yeah.
See, we got there.
So I'm free. Haha.
This one is one of my new favorites that I just found while doing research for this. Do you know why pirates carry a sword?
I can think of a lot of reasons why pirates would carry a sword.
None for this punchline for me.
Because swords can't walk.
Ellen,
She got me.
they can stab.
They can.
That's
Well, you can stab people with them. I don't know if the swords themselves can stab. A self-stabbing sword.
a self-stabbing sword.
Do you guys know what happened when the blue pirates crashed into the red pirates?
There were purple pirates?
You're close.
It's something about purple, but I can't quite get there.
Both of the crews were marooned. Okay, I only have one more, which I say both in truth and because I think you guys are ready to commit some crimes on me.
I'm not. I am very, very excited about these jokes.
I'm ready, Mutiny.
Yeah, I think this is what Ryan needs to become a pirate. So last pirate joke of the day. Are you ready?
Ready.
Let's do it.
What did the ocean say to the pirate?
What did the ocean say to the pirate?
I don't know.
Nothing. It just waved.
Because oceans make waves. I get it.
I love it.
So this has been Terrible Pirate Jokes with Ellen. If you do happen to swing by the library, specifically McCullough, where I am usually found, you can request a pirate or just a general pun from me.
She's always happy to throw them out.
I really am.
You don't even have to ask for them sometimes. Sometimes
No, it
she
is-
just
it
does
is true.
It is delightful to work with her. I love it.
And if you have any pirate jokes that you would like to send to the podcast, or any comments or questions or ideas for future episodes, you can send those to podcast@evpl.org, as well as come check out our collection of all sorts of pirate books that we have in the library. We also have movies. And I'm sure there's a CD of sea shanties somewhere in our collection.
Absolutely. And yo ho ho, a bottle of rum?
You can get rum at the library.
You
No.
cannot. You can probably get books about rum at the library. Is that good enough?
That is good enough,
Okay.
yes. There is also going to be a pirate party at McCullough on Pirate Talk Like a Pirate Day, 4 to
And-
5.
You will be captaining that event?
I'm not sure. I mean,
Okay. I just need to know like how violent it's going to get.
no, it's for kids, so
For kids.
everything will be, you know,
So the normal level
Fun.
of kid violence.
yeah.
Okay.
Whatever violence the kids bring, we're
Yeah.
just providing snacks and fun and activities,
Fantastic.
non-violent activities.
Well, I have learned a lot. This has been super fun. Thank you for the jokes. Thank you for the information, Ellen. Stephanie.
It's been fun.
Yeah. It's been
It's
fun.
always fun.
Yeah.
Stephanie, you'll have to come back and join us for
We're-
more podcasts.
I would love to.
We're very happy to have you here. And thank you for joining and listening to us. Have a wonderful day.
Bye.
Bye. We always do an outro. We always say bye.
That's it.
Peace out.
Just kind of plays music.